Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Remember, they're general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves ya. If you're new to my channel and you want some of that Rafi love, hit that like, share and subscribe button. For your key to the week, you have the Judgment card. Deep past reflections are showing up for you, but like in difference to the moon card, this is the blast from the past. So in all of these different sectors of your life, I wouldn't be surprised if this week you end up bumping into somebody that you haven't seen for a long time, maybe somebody that you don't want to see for a long time. All very possible. The other thing with the Judgment card, remember, it is a call to action, and so in some regard this week you are being sort of pushed, called or even goaded by the universe to get things moving, right? So to kind of, you know, move it forward. Now you've got this with the Hermit card. So the Hermit shows up in the position of your actions and options. This is what you do. So for a lot of you, there's some kind of self-imposed exile for spiritual reconciliation this week, right? So it's like you're pulling away from the world so that you can hear yourself speak, so that you can hear your own sort of inner high priestess, as I like to say. When the Hermit shows up for you, the high priestess has a message, but I don't feel like this is you kind of, I don't feel that this is a confusion. I don't feel like this is instilled. It's more like I need to reconcile something with my own spirit, right? There's like a part of you that wants to get really clear on how you see some aspect of your past. It may also be, for those of you that have grandparents, for those of you that have recently lost grandparents, it does suggest to me that it's like a spiritual reconciliation. So this could be with a past loved one. It could be with a grandparent who's still with us in some regard as well. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Three of Swords. So when it comes to communications and conversations, there will be a lot of release this week, right? There's a lot of you, and maybe this is what the self-imposed exile is about. This is you taking time to really understand, okay, this person, this place, this thing, this idea, this philosophy, this belief structure, this belief system, this, long-held personal wound even needs to be let go of. It needs to be released. So you're going to be talking it out as to what you're letting go of this week. For a very select few of you, there aren't any death cards here, but there is a feeling that it's very possible if you have someone that is very old and very much at the end of their life, let's say, this could be the final release. Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, the Three of Swords and the Hermit, it's almost like you say to yourself, like, I'm not studying this for me. I'm doing this for the family. I'm doing it because of the status or whatever the case might be. I don't necessarily think that all of you will walk away from the studies. You're Virgos after all, right? But there is a chance that you kind of acknowledge to yourself, right, I'm not actually doing this for me, and so I need to figure out whether this is the best path forward for me or not, for any number of reasons. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, I wouldn't be surprised if this week, through the conversations that you have, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had this feeling like where you know you're sort of not long for a job that you're doing, right? Whether it's for whatever the reason is. And you kind of play this game with yourself to say, okay, you know what? This week or this month, I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to see how they treat me, how I'm valued, and all the rest of it. And if they don't, then you know what? I will make my. It's like they don't realize that you're already in the process of letting the job go. You're literally just holding back to see if there's any redeeming qualities to the job. So, you know, it's kind of like they don't realize that their days are numbered almost. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this could actually be where you are firing or releasing a long-term client. Some part of your business, maybe a service that you're retiring and saying, okay, you know what, this has served its purpose, but now I need to do something new. If you are retired and no longer working, I actually like this for a supportive role in helping somebody else release an aspect of their lives or to move beyond something. So it's kind of like you're putting your, you know, in typical Virgo fashion, you're putting your own stuff to the side in some regard and then letting it, you know, almost carry on in a sense. For your love and relations, you've got the Two of Cups. So if you're single, maybe throughout this process of release that you're going through at the moment, maybe this clearing out the clutter in the closet in some way, it actually makes space for you to say, you know what, actually, yeah, I do think I want a relationship. Maybe there's a realization that actually, you know what, I don't want to be single anymore. The Two of Cups is the potential for this. Now, because all of this is infused and informed by the Judgment card, it is possible that this week you might have a conversation with somebody that you once dated. It might be, and you know, very often when the Judgment card comes up in connection to energies with relationships, 9 times out of 10 it's only for assimilation of the lessons that have been learned. There's something about this past relationship. If you find yourself talking to an ex and all the rest of it, it's not that you're meant to get back together with them, right? Especially not with the Three of Swords present with the Judgment card. All that's supposed to happen here is you are supposed to realize how far you've come, what you've learned within this relationship, and how you're ready to move forward. You assimilate the lessons so that you can move on and transcend it. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, now, so this is where it gets really interesting. I wonder if this elderly person that you're saying goodbye to isn't necessarily your family, but maybe a family through an in-law situation, or if you're not married, maybe it's like that long-term partnership. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me, I've got something in my eye and it's driving me insane. So yeah, like there's a chance that you could, you know, maybe you're playing the supportive role for somebody else that is potentially saying goodbye to, or even processing the fact that they have already lost or said goodbye to somebody that was very important to them in their lives. You know, maybe you're playing that supportive role in that regard and kind of helping them say, well, look, we go through the process of elimination of what's actually important at the start of all of this. For your money and materials, you have the Empress card. So a way of making money. So while you might be retiring different services, leaving a certain job, it's also possible that this time round you're having, you know, at the same time, you're having old ways of making money or old revenue streams open back up in some regard. With the Empress card here, it will be something that is relatively smooth and easy, and it's supposed to tide you over. This is kind of like that, you know what, I know I can grab a couple of freelance clients to tide me over until I'm in a space of ... where you kind of move into that place of being sort of clear and sure, right? When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Empress is all... I love the Empress for a glow-up card. And so maybe a part of this self-imposed exile that's going on is partially because you're like, okay, I know that there's some things that I want to change or shift. And the way that I do that is, you know, by giving myself time, space, and grace. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, the... Empress card for the home, this could be that you're doing, like, especially with the Judgment card, there's some kind of long-term shift, change, or adaptation that you have actually needed to kind of get to, where, you know, maybe you kind of say to yourself, oh, you know what, I can finally finish that bedroom, or I can finally unpack that stuff from the loft, or I can finally get rid of that. Like, you're making the space, it's like you're clearing the space effectively, but it has like a you know, like an aesthetic sort of feel to it. So for a lot of you, it's not like just a physical glow up that you could be going through at the moment. It's kind of like a whole life audit and edit in some way, shape or form. With that said, if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. Let me know in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you soon.